Amazing the different moods of the Sea of Galilee. Yesterday evening was covered in the whole sky in cloud, and there was even thunder and lightning. Today is all clear. I just saw a little video that my family sent me of a farmer moving the sheep in a couple of feet of snow, and the sheep can't handle that, so the farmer cut a track all across the fields to the farmyard to get the sheep into a cover so they could survive, basically. Just wanted to catch the sun on the window. I forgot to do it as I was going by here. That's a better position. We had a lot of visitors yesterday. From across America. A group of Baptist and another church had two significant portions of the group, and then a few others. People join up to form bigger groups together, since a lot of people are afraid to come. This group is staying here with us. They're praying here, so I don't want to disturb them. So we'll pull back a little bit here. There's space for everybody. I love the psalm today. The Lord takes delight in his people. It's also the word is translated also in the same psalm, just as the Lord loves his people. If we see how much parents delight in their children, that every little step of progress they make, that's just a shadow of the delight God has in his people. In every step we make, every good step. He obviously is pained when we make the bad steps, but he takes delight in his people. He loves his people. He's completely committed to his people. This is it, people. This is the core. This is why he created us. This is why he called us into life. Here they come. I'm looking for them, and now I see them. And you even see it in the other little animals, the way they take care of their young, the way they provide for them, protect them, cozy them, caress them. It's extraordinary. It touches our hearts. They live out that responsibility, but actually it's all by instinct, whereas the human being's will and freedom and it's a whole other dimension to how we relate to each other. We should just stay there and ponder that. The Lord takes delight in his people. And maybe as a parent you have that gift that I don't have. I see other things when people are growing spiritually, and the Lord has allowed me to be part of that process. But you as a parent watching a little child growing up, watching grandchildren growing up, the delight that gives you, the joy it gives you. This is the second last psalm in the Bible. It's very good to get into that. The Lord loves his people. The Lord takes delight in his people. And you have to ask them, which one doesn't he take delight in? Because sometimes we relate to people with greater enthusiasm, or even than the opposite, with repugnance. And what are our criteria? And what are God's criteria for taking delight in his people? It's worth pondering. And then you could say his people, or you could substitute it with you. You could substitute it with your husband, with your wife. The Lord takes delight in your wife. The Lord takes delight in your husband. The Lord takes delight in your children, in your grandchildren, in your neighbors. The Lord takes delight in the people traveling on the road near us, or coming toward us on the other side of the road, hopefully. And then, I didn't see those two little girls down there. And then we have the reading from John's letter, first letter, chapter 5. We have this confidence in him, that if we ask anything according to his will, he hears us. And yesterday we had that leper. And he asked Jesus, if you will, you can cure me. See, it's interesting how the same constant attitude is all across the scriptures. Lord, if you will, you can hear me. And let's read this line again from today's reading. Beloved, we have this confidence in him, that if we ask anything according to his will, he hears us. And this is where faith becomes hope, where faith is hope. It's a very interesting thing to enter into, a reflection on faith and hope. And then we have people going down the wrong track, and this reading takes it into account and says, if we see our family member doing wrong, we should pray to God to give this person life. That means sinning is going away from life. This is only... It's an interesting thought, you know. And imagine then we could pray for something, especially for some things we'd like, but they're kind of optional, but to pray for people to embrace God's path, to embrace His love. And we can go to the Gospel today. It's a little pre-run, if you will, for tomorrow's Feast of the Baptism of our Lord. And we have John baptizing in another location, actually, than the one across from Jericho. And it makes a comment because there was a lot of water there. It's such a precious commodity in these parts. Now, one of the notes that really is striking about John the Baptist today in the reading is his own self-understanding. And we can ask ourselves, what's our self-understanding? No one can receive anything except what has been given from heaven. We also have that in the letter of James, that every good gift comes from the giver of gifts above. And that's the biblical understanding of our life and our gifts, our roles in the world. Some people are always very negative that they didn't have this role or that role. Or some people can be, on the other hand, very proud and covetous and say, okay, this is mine, I got it, and it's mine. But to see our lives as gift from the Father in heaven. So they're trying to figure out John the Baptist, and he says he is not the Messiah. We also have that in chapter 1 of John's Gospel, 2 chapters earlier. He considers himself to be, we use the word in English, the best man, but the word in the Hebrew, I don't know what the best man does nowadays. At least he's there for the pictures. I don't know if he has a concrete role. He probably does. But in the Jewish culture, that best man prepared the whole wedding for his friend, and a special word for that. And so John is seeing himself as second fiddle. And he gets out of the way when the groom comes. I hear more of these birds on the move. He gets out of the way. And he's not jealous or envious. He does his part. What a great way to live. He must increase, I must decrease. I'm not the centerpiece here. Somebody else is, the Alpha and the Omega, the eternal Word made flesh. Let's leave it like that for today, people. The Lord takes delight in His people. The Lord loves His people in a way that we can't even understand. We know we have other lines about that as well, about giving his only son, about becoming incarnate, about the whole mystery of redemption. Amazing. Where God is in relation to us. See you later, alligators.